Well, I'm not sure there's any audio, so you're going to have to let me know whether you can hear me or not. I've tried a couple of recordings and nothing comes through at all, so let me know. Can you hear me? If there's anybody out there. If not, I might have to stop this, work out why it's not recording audio, and start again. Oh well, nothing's ever easy, is it? You can hear? Ah, that's good to hear. Right. Well, I can't hear a thing, which is fantastic, even though I've got headphones in. Marvellous. Um, the sound quality should be better because last time round, being the idiot that I am, I allowed the microphone to turn round, and obviously the part that picks up the voice was set to the front, not front and back. So you couldn't hear a word I was saying. So it's just to check whether or not any of this is working. Hopefully it's sure I'm going to OBS rather than going to Restream. This seems to be the industry standard. So we'll see whether or not this is a little bit better. And I'll try and find out why the sound isn't working for me, because it's really, really annoying, as you can imagine. So, today, what's happened today? I had my interview for personal independence payments, sort of disability today. That lasted an hour, and by the end of it I was absolutely exhausted, which is bizarre, just doing a telephone interview. I did tweet about it earlier. The girl I was spoke to, I'm not 100% sure that it's going to be a positive outcome for me, but she was really nice, and knew how to handle a call very well. So I was pleased. It put me at my ease, but I was absolutely exhausted by the end of it. Just trying to describe what's happened in the last, where are we up to now? Is it 10 months? Yeah. Right, let's have a look. In the chat we've got a couple of spanners. Mandy and Beth, hi to you both. I'm hoping that the chat will pop out in this particular program that I'm using. It's supposed to, but we shall see. It can't be any worse than last time, really, can it? Right, I'll just... Oh, wow. There's more chat than I thought, so obviously it wasn't working. Yes, I can see the chat. Yeah, the personal independence telephone call, it actually went all right. I was having worked for that kind of place, that kind of environment. I know what it's like dealing with people who are lying. I'm not someone who lies a lot anyway. If I'm trying to deal with someone in that kind of situation, I always find that if you do lie to them, to a trained professional, you will get found out. So what's the point? So I was just completely open and honest with her about what's happened to me, what is currently happening. I didn't need to make anything up, to be honest. I still can't use my left hand, so I'm no good in a kitchen. I couldn't cut vegetables, I couldn't use a pan. I wouldn't trust myself to be holding a pan of hot water with my left hand, stirring it with my right hand, or anything that you normally do when you're cooking, because I'd end up just covering myself in it, and then I'd be in the burns unit, which I suppose is a step down from the stroke unit, literally, because I think it's downstairs and ours is upstairs. But all the things about not being able to do the washing up, again, because I can't use the left hand, I haven't got any. There's a bit of strength in the thumb, very little strength in the fingers, and no dexterity, so I can't hold on to anything. I could possibly do some plates, but I couldn't really hold anything. I certainly couldn't do cups or glasses or anything, because I'd end up, again, smashing things to pieces, and we don't want that. Washing, I can throw things in the washing machine, which I have done this week, and then socks and underwear I can throw into a tumble dryer, I can't hang things up, which makes washing very difficult when you're trying to do a load of t-shirts and stuff that you can't throw in a tumble in the dryer. So I just told her all the truth. This is where I am. This is what I'm up to. I do walk. Some days I can walk quite a lot. Other days I'll be on the treadmill for 2 minutes and have to get off because I'm absolutely exhausted. That's just the nature of what happens when you've had a stroke or when you've had a serious illness. The recovery, your body's trying to recover, your brain's trying to recover, and it has a tendency at times to just try and shut down on you. So we'll have days where I end up just sitting on the sofa completely and utterly devoid of any energy. And that's where things like the RDA chat is a bit of a boost, to be honest. When you sat there just not able to do anything, at least you can have a read and have a laugh, and it does give you a bit more energy. So I'm thankful for that, despite the fact that it's just constant potatoes at the moment. Oh yeah, by the way, if anyone's wondering what potato ninja training is, you don't want to know. But we are ninjas in training. We don't need throwing stars, we have potatoes. That's all I'm going to allow you to know. What else was there? There was something else I was going to say. Work. I was absolutely exhausted, so I couldn't really do much at work today, just do a little bit of reading. Hopefully tomorrow, if I've got a bit more energy, I'll get stuck in to a case I've got and try and at least get started with that a bit more in depth than I have been the last few days. I felt tired this week, really tired. My knees sore, my ankles sore. It's quite debilitating when you want to do something and you can't, because physically I can't do stuff, but even just the walking, I thought I was doing alright with that, but when your knee feels like it's going to fall apart every time you get up, it's not good. But yeah, we'll get there in the end. They said it'll take 6 to 8 weeks to find out about the PIP. If I get something off them, sound. If I don't, I'm not overly bothered. I wouldn't mind getting a blue badge for the car though, just to make things easy. If I have to go back into the office at some point, it would be handy to be able to park near the office, which I think there's places nearby that I can park with the blue badge. Right, well, my chat's not working on there, but it's working on here. Yes, any excuse not to do the dishes. I also have a 22-year-old boy living in this house at the same time, and he's stepped up to the plate with doing the dishes and things, so fair play to him. I haven't had to guilt him or anything. And Lizzie, yes, you're right. Far more movement in the left hand than before. It's still not. It's not dexterous enough. I can't pick things up and be safe with them. But there is something there. I even said to the girl on the phone earlier on, when I went for a test with the occupational therapist, we did a squeeze test on the hand and then one on the thumb, and then compared my right hand to my left. The thumb on the left hand is strong. The fingers are half as weak, or half as strong as the ones on the right. The thumbs are as strong as the right. But the dexterity is really bad. But that, for me, gives me something to work with. It could be worse. It could be the thumb's weak, the hand's weak, and there's nothing there. I've got a strong thumb. I should have a bit more dexterity than your average person because I've played guitar for years. So there should be that connection between the brain and the fingers should come back at some point. Although I think the days where I play guitar, I'm going to be waiting for another couple of years before I can do that. But I will get there eventually. That for me, I think it's positive. There is something there to work with. The knee, I am worried about my knee. It's the football injury from 2019, which didn't heal properly before lockdown in 2020. So it's never really had proper physio on it. I've got a sneaking suspicion I might need some clean-up surgery, and I can't afford to do that. There's no way on earth I could get on crutches because I haven't got the strength in the arm. I can't hold on to a crutch. I'd just be falling over constantly. So I think I'm going to have to wait for a while. But I'll get the, yes, the horrible OT. It is horrible, but it's brilliant. Every time I do something and it works, it's that boost. On Friday when I went, she brought in a plank of wood with loads of bolts and nuts and bolts threaded through it, different sizes, big huge ones down to little tiny thin nuts and bolts, and then got me to start off on the big ones with my left hand, just trying to twist them. That motion is so difficult when your brain's not connecting to it properly. Um, so hopefully a bit more practice with that, the functionality will start coming back. It is just repeat. The same with the prescription gaming, like Mandy mentioned. The occupational therapist said, I've got my PlayStation 5 there. If I can pick it up and have a game, um, and just try and get the thumb a bit more moving rather than pressing, um, that'll work in my favour. Steve, how you doing, mate? How's things? Yes, I will miss my knees when they're gone. They're halfway gone now. Um, I've had the misfortune of rolling both ankles, hurting both wrists. Um, my knees have always been alright, but as soon as my left one went, that's it. I've had all kinds of issues since. But hopefully, give it a bit of time. The fact that my legs wasted away to absolutely nothing when I was in the hospital bed. I mean, I've always had fairly thin legs anyway. I look more like a middle distance runner or a long distance runner than a sprinter. But they wasted away to absolutely nothing. I looked horrible. I looked like I just escaped from Belson or something. So the walking that I'm doing hopefully will build up the muscles so that they can protect the knee a bit more. But um, if the knee's sore, how can they get out and walk? What's that paradox? But I'll get there. I'm positive after all. Is in me name on here. I have to be positive. No one else is going to do it for me. I'm going to have to do it all myself, and I will get there. The therapist, I'm lucky. The therapist's really good as well. Keeps finding these weird and wonderful ways of getting me to do stuff with quoits, little rubber rings, um, holding them up, holding them sideways, putting them over sticks one way, the other. So I'm constantly getting movement in the wrist. The wrist apparently is starting to show good signs, the wrist itself, the left wrist, in terms of motion. So each little bit that I do, each little step, every little bit of improvement, I think that's a good sign for me anyway. Um, she also does a thing where tennis balls and like a Velcro netting, and I've got to throw them, which is a pain in the ass because I'm right-handed anyway. So even if I was completely fit, I'd still throw like an absolute gimp with my left hand. So I'm trying to do it. The ball's going everywhere. It's like, oh, it looks like an absolute nightmare. But every time I do it, I seem to get a little bit better. The swing, the release, and it is all about the release of the hand. So I am going to get there. Um, Again, like I said to the girl on the phone earlier on, it's not about getting extra money. It's not about getting stuff off the government. If I could clip my fingers tomorrow and just be back to normal, or to have all this work, and it would do. I want to be healthy. I don't want to be reliant on people. Like most people, I would think. You know, I don't. It's not about handouts. It's just if you give me a blue badge, I can go and park closer to Goodison. Maybe go and watch a couple of games. And park closer to the office. There'd be days where I don't feel like I can walk too far. I'd then be able to park outside Tesco rather than miles away further on the car park. It's just stuff like that I'd be happy with. Um, but yeah, I just keep thinking back to where I was in September and October. I'm now moaning about having to walk from my car to the supermarket. Back then, I wasn't even sure I was ever going to walk again, or that's what it felt like to me at times. It was obvious I was going to walk again because the people in there are absolute genius at what they do, the physios and the OTs. But when you're also at the lowest ebb, it's yeah, will this never end? Well, yeah, most of it has ended. I can make a cup of tea on my own. I can go to the bathroom on my own. I'm not having to call a nurse to come and sort me out. I'm not relying on people constantly. So it's so much better. Got to look at the positive side of things. Yeah, there's that thing with the benefits as well. I know there are some people who are a little bit, I don't know the words I want to use. We had a mate who worked with us, and he left, and never seen him again for a couple of years. And then he bumped into him in the pub one night. I said, "How are you doing, mate? How's things?" He said, "Oh, it's brilliant. Since I've been on disability, I'm earning twice as much as I was when I was working with you lot." It was like, what? Earning? You sat at home doing nothing. You're being paid because you can't do anything. You're not earning it. You're being given it. You deserve it because of what you're going through, but that phrase about I'm earning more through disability, no, it's not that way, mate. You've got to get your head and change it round. You need to get it. You need to get what you can while you're going through the issues that you have to get yourself back on your feet, to get back to earning. But that's that one attitude I don't like, because all those years of seeing people that were going out of the way to try and screw the system, it's I don't like it. When people deserve it, I always see my job was to make sure people got the money that they were entitled to. Nothing less, nothing more. And that nothing less meant a lot to me as well, because there were some people that were not getting what they should have been, so making sure they got what they were entitled to. No one could say anything to them then. I always looked at it that way. Yeah, and you're right, Steve. That's the reason why we pay tax. The reason why you do that, you pay national insurance, is to make sure that when you do need help, it's there for you. Um, but for me, I know there's people who deserve it more than I do, so I'm not really overly bothered about any money. But that blue badge would come in really handy. Um, and if I don't get anything from them, fine. I'm not relying on it. I'm not in a terrible need for it. Like I say, some people really are in that need. Um, so fair play. If you need it, put in for it. I probably should have done it a bit earlier, because when I think about what my mum and dad have been doing for me for months and months and months, if I could have got a little bit extra, I could have given the house that little bit of extra money, not for myself, but to throw onto the table, get pay some bills or go and buy some more food with that. I tried to up what I pay into the house, but obviously there's not much more I can do. But if there's any extra, I'd be quite happy to throw it in the pot. Be like an episode of Bread, wouldn't it? All the scousers around the table, throwing cash in the middle. And yes, Lizzie, the same thing. Just when you're not able to do what you want to be able to do, it's a horrible feeling. Um, and then being able to get out of that and then move towards, like I'm doing at the moment, just being able to move towards a hint of normality. I'm back working. I'm almost back to full time. That'll be at the end of this month. I think I'm back to working a full day. Um, so to me, it's almost a sense of normality. There's so much that I can't do, and I know I can't do, and I've still got to be careful when I'm working, because fatigue can absolutely destroy me at times. So when I think I'm doing all right, I'll suddenly find myself sort of head dropping, and I don't know what I've done for the last half hour. But it's just a case of remembering where I've come from. Me bosses are brilliant like that. They know full well that I don't have to knock my pipe out. And if I do occasionally feel tired or I've got issues, I can say to them, I can't, I can't really do much today. I'll do a little bit of reading, but I need to go and have a lie down every hour or so just to get my head together. They're fine with that. What they want is for me to be back in work full time, healthy. And if they're pushing me, I'd not be back full time and healthy anytime soon. So they're making sure that I'm going to be fine. Thank you, Lizzie. The progress that I've made, I have looked back at some of my old videos just to check a few things, and seeing myself back then, I noticed a difference just now, looking at myself on camera, never mind what I'm able to do. Um, I think back to having to go upstairs for the shower and have someone behind me and someone in front of me on the way up, and the same on the way down. people taking everything I need upstairs, all my clothes for me, shower gels, what have you. Now, if I want to shower, I just go up. I've still got to be careful on the way up and on the way down, down especially. But everything's about taking me time and having that ability to, like, when I first came home, I had to have someone come in to wash me and dress me every morning. Different people turning up every day. You know, the fantastic people, but having to get completely naked in front of a 65-year-old woman who then proceeds to wash you. It's not great, it's not ideal, but I will forever be thankful for the help that I got back then. But it's a huge, huge difference being able to get up them stairs, have an absolute joyous shower, a proper shower, fantastic, and not rely on someone to be there waiting for me. Same with the car. I've only had the car for 2.5 months, and it feels like my life's changed. If I want to go to the shop, I can do. I'm not asking for lifts to therapy. Um, if I get bored or sick and tired of the same four walls, I'll go down to the beach like I did yesterday and film the sunset, or just sit there with the windows open, listening to the sounds, the smell of the ozone. It's fantastic. I did mention in one of the videos about the lack of nature when you're in hospital. It can be overwhelming, and just taking it for granted that when you go outside, you can hear birds singing. When it's taken away from you, you really do miss it. Again, which is why I do my little stroke walk things where I try and get as much bird song through the mic as I possibly can. Because I think it's just a lovely thing. So I'm going to try and do as many of them as possible, I think. Especially in different places. The one I did down Rotten Row, I really enjoyed that. Hopefully one day I'll build up to being able to do the full, I think it's just under a mile long, Rotten Row. Do the full mile there, full mile back. And then I can collapse and die on camera for you. Talk about entertainment. Louise, how you doing? Slow and steady, it is the best way. Unless you're a 100 metre sprinter. At which point, I don't know what to tell you. By the way, why do 100 metre sprinters have coaches? Can someone tell me that? How do you coach someone to do 100 metres? Isn't it just, right, when it goes bang, run as fast as you can till the end? Is that not it? Have they got tactics? You can't exactly wait for someone on the bend, can you? It's just bang, off you go. Bizarre. But there we go. Yeah, was there something else? Sure, there was something else. Oh, yeah, my driving licence. That got mentioned today. I sent my other one back, and I haven't heard anything for must be like 6 or 7 weeks. So I rang them up, and they said they've received it, but it takes ages to sort. I think it's going to be downgraded to an automatic licence only, which I'm not bothered about because, to be honest with you, having to not change gears has been joyous. Just get in, 1 foot, off you go. Um, and I had to pick my sister up from the hospital on Tuesday. She was having a medical appointment there, and it's the first time that I've driven over 50 miles an hour. I went on a dual carriageway doing 60, and I also went on a motorway only for one junction, um, which is about 2 or 3 miles. But it was a huge, I don't know if it's psychological, but it's like a huge step, little tick box of being on the motorway. I wasn't worried about it. I don't get nervous or concerned about stuff in general, but it's something that I've done that if I have to go again on a motorway, I'm not going to start thinking, oh, I've not done this before, I'm worried. No, just got on it, drove off normally. Took an hour and 40 minutes to get there, wait for her, drop her off home and get back home. And again, I was absolutely exhausted, my back was hurting, my legs were hurting. Within the space of 5 minutes I'd made a cup of tea and got back on the sofa and I was feeling alright. But when your body's not used to being in that position and you have to do it for that long, it's painful. But I think the more I do it, the more I'll get used to it. It is getting back out there. The moment all I seem to do is I'll drive to the beach or I'll drive to Tesco. Having an hour and 40 minutes in the car was a huge step. but I showed that I could do it. So that's always a good thing. Oh, Big Train. Is that on? I think that's on BritBox now, isn't it? I used to love that. I think I might have to watch that this week when I get a chance. I love Big Train. There's some fantastic people in there, and of course the writing, superb. I can't remember that sketch a lot. Is it the 100 meters? I can sort of remember it, but I can't remember what was said. I am definitely gonna have to watch that. Also, BritBox. If there's anyone here from BritBox, which I know there won't be, get the rest of Boone on there. I hate this. They put 2 series on, and that's it. And I think there's 7 series in total, or 9. So I looked on ITVX. Same thing, only the first 2 series. Why? Idiots. You own, you own the show. Just put them on there. I watched the whole first 2 series without realising there was nothing else on there, and I was gutted when I found out the rest weren't. Again, I think this comes back to what's been mentioned before about the comfort in familiarity, which is why I watch MASH and Red Dwarf as often as I do. Um, I also, during the day, I watch Lovejoy and Pie in the Sky, because I mean, Steve, Norfolk, mate, East Anglia, that kind of stuff. If I didn't live in the northwest, I'd quite happily live around there, because just watching the countryside of Norfolk, and I think parts of Essex were used to filming as well, weren't they? Was gorgeous country pubs and thatched roofs and what have you. Oh, stunning. Nice and gentle, quite funny. And Lovejoy is well, we called him a boy back then, but a bit of a tit, really, isn't he? The way he treats people. Yeah. But yeah, I watch stuff like that, and Boone is definitely one of them that I loved watching. Minder as well. I forgot how much I liked that till I started watching it. I'll be the same pet. I've got to make sure to start that again, because I haven't watched that in possibly about 2 years now. And I loved, again, when we lived in Holland, sorry, Netherlands, we used to have mates in Middlesbrough. One of them used to run a video rental shop, and he'd make sure that we used to get videos copied and sent over to us, but also all the stuff that was on the telly. Have you the same pet and what have you? Every couple of months, we'd get a parcel come over with a load of the English stuff, and it was just fantastic. So I've always loved Have you the same pet, because it reminds me of the only sort of English language stuff that we had to begin with until my dad managed to get hold of British Forces satellite, whatever it was at the time, and then we were treated like a Falcon's Crest. God, I hated that show with a passion, but it was in English. Yeah, yeah. Lizzie, back to your childhood. Isn't that fantastic? At times, um, I find this with music, especially. A song can come on, and within the first couple of bars of it, I am transported into a completely different time. I did it with my guilty pleasures on my podcast. This podcast. Don't worry, I'm not selling merch. I just wanted to. I like the picture, so I thought I'd advertise myself. Um, but yeah, on that, I did a few guilty pleasures, and there were songs that I remember off the top of the pops that we recorded. Not the kind of music I'd normally like, but it just reminds me of a place so much. Solid by Ashford and Simpson, Break My Stride by Matthew Wilder, stuff like that. Pat Benatar, Love Is a Battlefield. Kind of music I really do not like, but when I hear it, I just I can smell the house. I can hear the sound of the open fire crackling. Just I'm back there. It's crazy how that works. I think music and smells are things that trigger people more than anything else. Genuinely, there's something, I don't know what it is, but ears, nose, and throat, all that connection. There's something there that connects to your brain that as soon as you hear something or you smell something, you can be sent back decades, and it's almost like you are there. Um, I've made a huge thing of music like that. back when it was compilation cassettes, mixtapes, or compilation CDs. I used to do that rather than keeping a diary. I still do it to this day. If you one day I'll try and make me a Spotify all public so people can see exactly what's in there. I've got playlist after playlist with hundreds of songs on, and it's just these are what I'm listening to right now. If I hear something on Spotify, if it's on Discover, or I hear a song or an advert, or just something comes up that I love, I will add it. And then when I go back, which I do quite a lot, I'll go back and listen to me playlists. I absolutely adore the songs, but I just get that click straight away. This is what was going on in my life at the time. Like now, if I listen to the Orb and Aphex Twin and lots of the chill ambient music, I think back to being in hospital. But it's never really a bad thing that I think of. It's just again, it's a reminder of where I was, where I am now, and the comfort that I got in that ambient music, where I was able to put me eye mask earphones on and just zone out completely. So that's fantastic. Lizzie's Psychic Connections. If you are forming them, can I play guitar on it? Because it sounds like a fantastic jazz band. And used to, I've got this weird simpatico, it has to be said, Lizzie and Mandy. You're a right pair of spanners, but it's a nice thing. I think it's a good connection. I think it speaks a lot for RDA and for Dan and for the whole community that people have got this connection. It's fantastic. We seem to attract, I don't want to say similar people because we're not similar, but we've all got something, a common thread between us that works wonders. I love that. I do take a lot of solace in it. So fair play to Dan for shouldering the responsibility of this as well. At times it must get a little bit much for him when he jumps in and all of a sudden he's just absolutely obliterated by thousands and thousands of exploding potatoes. Probably wondering what the hell's going on. Why is everyone a ninja? Why is everyone throwing potatoes? It's only been away for 5 minutes. But you know, that's what happens in it. Yeah, there's a good nuts, isn't there? Some people are nuts and nasty. Some people are just nuts and fun to be around. I think we're lucky that most people within the community are the nice nuts. Nice nuts. No, can't be putting that on a t-shirt, can you? New merch drop, nice nuts. No, no. We'll swerve that, I think. Although I quite like I like the ninja thing. I might have to do a high neck ninja t-shirt for myself as well. Got to try and rep the brand, haven't you? While I'm building a brand. I'm not building a brand, what the hell am I talking about? I've got a full-time job which I'm quite happy with. I just do this to satisfy the need in me. Songs that from? I can't think now. Oh, what is it? It's going to annoy me. Communards, wasn't it? Don't leave me this way. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, I don't think I'm ready for merch yet. But I've got 200 and odd subs. But if I ever get to the point where I am big enough to do that, trust me, there will be ninja merch and there'll be freebies winging their way out easily. Because I do genuinely, I love the support that we all get in this community. Um, I know I've got loads of support, which I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't have that. So thank you all. It is fantastic. I always know if I'm going to do something, there will be there, but there will be people there to support and also provide a lot of good, constructive feedback. I haven't had anyone yet tell me to shut up, stop babbling on, you stupid scouse gobshite. Yet, it will come eventually. You'll get sick of me, but so far it's all been nice. How do people get started with that merch drop thing? just start sitting around designing stuff or thinking of ideas. I've only done this one, like I say, this is one of my favourite pictures that I've ever taken, and that's exchange flags around the back of the town hall in Liverpool. And it's a lovely picture, and I quite like the punk sort of writing on the bottom of it, so that's why I'm repping that one. I'm not sure how many people would want to walk around with the Potato Ninja merch though. Might have to do a community post about that, see how many people are interested. Lottery numbers, yes. You two need to sort them lottery numbers out. And if you do come in, you know, we might have to take you up on Pendle Hill, burn you as witches. Worth doing though. Imagine that. All that money. There was a homeless fella outside Tesco yesterday. Oh, I'd love to win the lottery and just be able to go and help these people a lot more than you already are. I know there's people out there that do help them, but not just something to eat and a bottle of water or a coffee or something. Actually, genuinely be able to go and help people. I always thought that if that money ever came in, it wouldn't just be pissed up the wall on cars and houses and going out on massive long holidays and what have you. I'd love to help as many people as possible. I know I'm doing the government. I'd be doing the government's job for them when they should be helping. But the rotten sods, aren't they? They won't help anyone but themselves. So if we get the rollover, we'll go out and we'll do the RDA help, and it won't be recorded because that's not what it's about. Helping people. It's not there for videos for people and to try and get a little bit of clout. If you can help someone, help someone. I'm all for it. Pay it forward. I've been helped so much. Just the nurses, everyone that worked in the hospital, the cleaners, they always come round and talk to you every morning, make sure the area that you're in, that you're stuck in, is spotlessly clean, but they always ask how you are. You got the top surgeons and top, specialists coming in to see you. There's no difference between the cleaner and the surgeon. They're always asking how you are. They're always making sure you're okay. And it's the people who've helped me since I've been out. I'm gonna have to stop saying this. So I do make it sound like I was in prison. I wasn't, but since I was released back into the community, the help I've received, I know people get paid for doing it, the jobs, the occupational therapists and physios, but they go way above and beyond what they get paid for. Um, and anyone who's helped me just in general, my mum and dad, fantastic. I'd love to be able to pay some of that back, but I don't think I'd ever be able to pay back what I owe in terms of what people have done for me. Don't think I'd ever be able to do that. I'll forever be in debt, no matter what happens. If I won the Nobel Peace Prize, I might just be about breaking even, but apart from that, I don't think so. And I know when it comes to your parents, they're supposed to do everything they can for you, like I would with my daughter. But still, it's amazing what they've done. So fair play to them. They come back from Portugal on Saturday. That has absolutely flown by and dragged like a seal's arse at the same time. I'll be glad to see them back. I said last week that I felt a little bit lonely or a little bit sort of weird without them, and I've missed them a bit. And it would soon pass, and it did, and then it come back, and it went, and it come back. This week I have regularly missed having people around. I think I'm also unfortunate that a lot of my mates don't live anywhere near where I do. I've got people coming round to knock on the door for a cup of tea or anything. Um, which if I lived in Liverpool I probably would do, but I'm happy where I am. Um, I've seen my daughter quite a lot, but only for a little 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there where I'm giving her a lift. But it's been great. And I had to mention it because if I don't mention it in absolutely every single video that I do, she gets upset. And her boyfriend, Ewan, if you're watching, all right, mate, he will tell her that she got a mention, and she'll be delighted. Or cringy, embarrassing. Hopefully, both at the same time. She's buzzing today because her mum joined the police. Whisper it quietly, and she's passed out today. So she's absolutely buzzing that her mum's decided to put in for a complete change of scenery, complete change of career, and it's worked wonders for her. I'm made up for her. I think she's done great, and to see my daughter so proud, that's fantastic. So I'm absolutely delighted with that. I don't know if I was supposed to mention that or not, but I have. So tough shit, really. Yeah, Louise, you're not far from Pendle Hill. I thought of you when I said that, so we'll pick you up on the way. If you've got any firelighters, any old dry sticks, timber, any crosses that you're not using, you never know. People might have sheds full of crosses. Um, can you get a Nobel Prize for Potato Ninja? Steve, that is the kind of question that I never thought I'd ever be asked, but I'm glad I am. If not, why not? Can we get? We've got to be able to do something. I wonder if I can get a potato and spray it gold, mount it on a plinth. We could hand it out for excellence in potato ninjery. Is ninjery a word? Well, yeah, 'cause I had one, didn't I? And my left knee got an injury. I don't know why I mentioned that. As soon as I mentioned it, my knee started hurting. The power of suggestion. What a stupid thing to say. Ow. Well, I don't need an ice pack on it, but I do think I need some Voltarol. And also a massive glass of wine. Non-alcoholic, obviously. I've still, in November was the only time I've touched alcohol. Accidentally. I had me one bottle of Beck's instead of Beck's Blue. That's the only one little bit of alcohol that I've touched since August. So to be honest with you, we're towards the end of July now, aren't we? So got another month to go, and I've virtually done a full year without alcohol. No bad thing. I'm not missing it. Obviously, I'm not missing it. I'm drinking me non-alcoholic wine every night. I don't feel like I'm missing out, but I do feel better for it. I said to the girl on the phone call again today. She was saying, "How are you feeling? How's things in general?" So do you know what? I've not had a cold. I haven't caught COVID in the entire 3 years that it's been around. Not once. Not had a cold. Not had an infection, chest infection, anything else she asked. It's the most healthy and the most unhealthy I've felt in my life at the same time. I'm eating well. I'm not drinking alcohol. I don't feel stressed. I occasionally feel like I need a little bit of a break, but I'll get in the car and do that now. So I'm managing things better. But I can barely walk and I can't use my arm. So I'm feeling completely healthy and completely unhealthy at the same time. But I keep going back to it. Just look where I've come from. And anybody who ever has a major illness, think of how bad you were. And then if you start improving, look back to how bad you were. Just every little step is a step in the right direction. And hopefully everyone will get there. I think people deserve it when you go through something like that. I don't know, did I deserve to have the stroke in the first place? I wasn't living the lifestyle that I should have done. Is it a slap in the face and a wake up call? It's a bloody hard one. If it is it something I needed to make sure that I'm around long into my frail dotage? Maybe it was. Maybe that's what it was there for. Don't necessarily believe in fate or anything, but it might just have been that wake up call that I needed. If I'm going to have grandkids, I want to be around to see them. Jess, don't be getting any bloody ideas. You're still 17, right? They can wait. My hair's not full grey yet. But I want to be around for stuff like that. There's loads more I want to do that I haven't done yet. I'm gonna have to start making little notes of things that I want to do. So I can start ticking some stuff off. Things like catching the sunset. I almost did it yesterday. I got the camera angle wrong. It's still come out all right, I think, but could have been better. There's a few things like that I want to do. I definitely want to go to Formby Pinewoods and have a walk around there, but I think I might need someone to go with me because it's a bit of a walk, and I might need a little bit of help at times. Definitely doing the botanic gardens, but I'll need to have a bit of a look around for that first because I haven't been there for it must be 20 odd years. I don't want to lose my bearings and be too far away from the car or anything. But I want to try and get as many nice little walks in and show you where I live because it is a lovely town. I think you'll find some of it interesting. Also, for the other people that are out there who are part of this community who are creating, Dan's done it where he's gone out and drove around Maryland. If you're part of the community and you make stuff, go and have a walk out or go and have a bit of a trek. Show us where you live. Show us some of the areas. Even people that don't want to make videos, don't want to appear in them, just take it out and film where you live. Show them some flowers. Be interesting just to see that, I think. Gives a nice flavour of where people are from. But there's some lovely areas. I know North Wales, for example. I lived in Wrexham. I was only young at the time, but we have been back a few times. North Wales is stunning. So Mandy, get out with your camera and get filming. And that's an order, he said, ducking out the way very quickly before the inevitable King Edward heads towards me nose. But places like that, I mean, bloody hell, Snowdonia, absolutely stunning. I know there's a woman actually, my mum kept going on about her, who'd had a stroke, who walked up Snowdon. I don't know if she was trying to convince me that was something to do, but it ain't happening, not a chance. If I can't get up the road to Tesco, I'm not getting up bleeding Snowdon. Ben Nevis, neither. Just in case anyone from Scotland who thinks I'm singling out Wales, no, I'm equal opportunity, not climber. Yes, Lizzie, positivity. I think that's something I've always been vaguely positive. I can also at the same time be quite realistic to the point where if something isn't going to work, I can say it straight. I'm not going to be able to levitate. I'm not going to be able to go and buy a unicorn from the pet shop. These kind of things. Got to be honest about it. But if you can see the positive side of things and just try and give it a bit of energy, I think it works. It works wonders for that kind of stuff. And with stuff like when you're having to push yourself for physio or occupational therapy, things that hurt and are draining, take the energy out of you. You need to be positive to do it, otherwise you just end up, no, I can't do this. You'll be sat down, you won't get any further. Like the people I was in the hospital with, like I was constantly, yeah, I'll do it, I'll do it. There's a spare 5 minutes to do a little bit of physio. Does anyone want to do it? Yeah, I'll do it. So I wanted to get better. There's people that were in there just lying down thinking, nurse, bring me food, look after me, take care of me. Like they wanted to go back to being a child or something. I didn't want that. I wanted to be as little of a nuisance to the nurses and to the staff as possible, and to do as much as I could to make the physios proud. Every time I'd done something and the physios had this big beaming smile on their faces because what they'd done had worked, I felt good. So I always wanted that. To this day, I still want to push myself if I can, but I'm also realistic, so I know that if I'm having a bad day, I might not hit me steps target, and I'm not getting too wound up about that now. Whereas before, I had to hit it every single day. Now, if I haven't got the energy, I just think, no, not bothered. Today's an off day. Tomorrow, I'll hit it again. And I'll hit it again for the next week, 10 days. And I might have another day after that where I can't do it. If I can't do it, I can't do it. Got to be realistic. But every step that I do is one more than I thought I'd be able to. So again, it's just about being positive. Louise, there might be a train going up to Snowdon. I'm not sure that'll get me in the good books of people when I say I made it all the way to the top of Snowdon as a stroke victim. How tough was it? Oh, well, I got a paper cut buying the ticket and for the train to get up there, but you never know. Might have a go. Right, oh, almost an hour. Um, well, it's been interesting. If there's been any feedback on how it's gone, technically, whether you can hear everything all right, whether the camera's working okay, whether the candle that I forgot lit in the background was annoying or not, let me know. And whether I should carry on doing some of these lives. Um, because it is interesting. It's nice to be able to have a chat. Like I say, I'm sat here on my own in the front room. Um, what's the point in being on my own when I can talk to you wonderful people? That's the way I look at it. And again, comfort and familiarity, which is what a lot of this is for me. And if you're not from the RDA community, you're not from the Ring Dinkers Anonymous. I always bizarre when I say that. Um, community that grew up around uh, Alice in the Nation YouTube channel. If you're not from there, it's there's a lot of people in here who are really supportive of absolutely everyone, not just me, not just feeling sorry for me because I'm one of the ill ones. No, no, everybody who's part of the community gets the same level of support, and I think it's a wonderful thing. And I'm forever grateful for it. Um, but anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for the kind comments. I did get it to work this time. The chat come out. It's not working perfectly on the big monitor, but I'll find a way of doing that. I might have to just get the iPad out, which is bigger, so I can keep an eye on things. Uh, but thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to go and now raise a glass of non-alcoholic wine to every single one of you. Thank you very, very much. Potatoes to all of you, and hopefully I will see you soon.